And in about 5 years, when AI takes over everything, they're not going to have a job, and they're going to be sitting there going like, what the heck did I just go through? We're coming out of this with less productive people. That's what it is.
Pussies. Big pussies.
There's tech kids that are coming out where they've got these amazing jobs. They're about to get wiped out because of AI.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like they don't have social skills. They've got all these degrees and they're super good at coding or whatever it is, engineering. And in about 5 years, when AI takes over everything, they're not going to have a job, and they're going to be sitting there going like, what the heck did I just go through? I made all this money and I had all these great opportunities. I got completely replaced by AI. I learned all this great stuff at university, and we're going to have like this like culture of like really useless people.
And you know what? I watched a video this morning, I feel like. This older guy, he must have been like in his 60s, and he's like, guys, I'm trying so fucking hard to find a job. I can't find a job anywhere. They won't hire me anywhere. I'm too old to be hired for anything. And everywhere I go, he goes, I go to Walmart and they're like, you don't have retail experience. And I go to work at like McDonald's and they're like, you've never worked in a restaurant before. And the guy's like, I owned $1 billion business a few years ago. And now, you know, things have changed, right? And I worked in radio for 30 years. It's like, no one will even give the guy a chance. And so you've got like, check this out. You've got all these older people, right? We talked about this before, the 50-year-old guy that's working at a job that all of a sudden has become rendered useless for one reason or another, whether it's the economy or AI or some young guy who's willing to take less. You got like these older, unemployable people, right? That all think that they're worth way more than they can get anywhere because nobody fucking wants them. And then you've got all these young kids who can't get a fucking job anywhere either because who's hiring? I mean, if you're hiring, you have one job. You've got one job. You got to line up down the street of Indian people for miles right now, right?
I don't know. I'm not putting out any, help wanted ads, but
you see it.
I get what your point. I see the point.
It's crazy.
I see the point.
And what's happening is like more and more people are jumping into that pool of people that are looking desperately for jobs, right? Want money desperately. And while that job, so that's growing just because the real estate market is fucked and the construction market is fucked. So that's just dropping on its own, but mixed with the AI.
But you saw the job numbers there that 10,000 jobs were shed over the last year, including 6,000 at Canada Revenue Agency, public service.
From the government. Yeah, government jobs were shed. But meanwhile, every time they tell us about jobs, there's like 40,000 new government jobs. So how did that happen? Where's the math? How do we lose
shrunk for the first time since 2015, nearly 10,000 jobs over the last year. Data released by the Treasury Board Secretariat. Yeah, of the 9,800 job cuts between 2004 and 2005, majority were in federal agencies such as Parks Canada, National Capital Commission, and the Canada Revenue Agency. I love to hear that. Isn't that nice? That CRA, there's less. You just don't believe it.
I don't believe it because when they announce it monthly, there's huge gains in jobs, right? And it's like the private sector's shedding jobs, and it's all the public sector making up for it. And we've talked about
sometimes those are like, for the election, they added jobs. Like, some of these jobs come and go, right? For seasonality stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at it from a year basis, that took into account all the different seasons that came through. But 10,000 jobs isn't really that much when they have hundreds of thousands that they need to get more efficient on.
UBI will be a must, says Corporate Shill. And Corporate Shill is quite busy in the chat today. UBI will be a must. And
UBI makes a lot of sense if you ruin your economy and nobody's able to actually work a job.
So
right?
here.
But sure.
Yeah,
like the trajectory that we're on. Yeah, absolutely. Like if unemployment rate gets to a certain point, they're going to have no choice but to start supporting everybody.
10%? Where are we? 10%?
Well, you look at Canada national effort, so 6.9%, I think it is right now.
Who cares about all of Canada? It's like Ontario. If Ontario,
well, it's the federal government who's going to care about that, and they're going to be the ones basing their decision on whether or not UBI makes sense or not. But there's a lot of arguments for it. Obviously, it would be like the worst thing that you could possibly do. It would be like, spoiling your kids.
Be
like just giving your kids every single thing that they ever asked for and never making them work hard for anything, never making them have to actually earn something or struggle. And you just be like, don't worry, I got you. You don't have to do nothing.
That's right.
Horrible idea.
It's welfare. Chris says it's welfare. Of course it's welfare, but what the fuck do you do? Okay? We have this pool of people not working growing, and this is the number that they're telling us, right? So forget about all these people that somehow are in the country, have nowhere to live, have no jobs. Are they on this list? Are all the people in the tents on this list? And really, like, how does this list even work? Because what if I have a Shopify store and I make 150 grand on doing that? Am I unemployed? And what if I'm collecting unemployment and I have a Shopify store? What if have you seen all these stories now of all these beggars in the streets that are not unemployed? Like it's like a whole scam going on. They're like dropped off in a minivan. They do their job for the day.
They've always had that. Yeah.
They pick them up in a minivan and they take them to their house,
To their house.
And
they're all got like a mortgage to pay.
They're all getting like $6 grand a month from the government because they, have 4 kids or whatever the fucking.
Well, the refugees definitely. Yeah.
It's crazyville though.
Yeah. The refugees, I know it's high paying. I mean,
are they included in the unemployment stats? All these people that are making money all over the place, robbing people, stealing cars. I mean, people have jobs. They're just not so legit.
So if somebody's begging on the streets, it's like, listen, man, stop contributing to our unemployment numbers, man. Yeah. You got a job.
Yeah. Right? Stop it, you bastard.
Yeah. But that's whose fault that is though.
Trudeau.
No, it's our fault for giving the money.
Oh, what? Because you and me are... if you put me in that window, if I'm sitting in the window, it's like, no, fuck you. Look, you're wearing new Nikes. You don't need any money. Let me see your cell phone.
I guarantee you're giving $5 to somebody who looks like they need it. And you're contributing to the madness. Everyone, oh, that guy's giving. I better give. Find a way to donate to charity. Find a way to, volunteer your time. Go down to the
gave a warehouse of furniture for free to needy people. I mean, to churches, TK. I know for a fact that some of that stuff is heading to a church. I feel good about that. Okay. The Jew
God
in
loves
me,
you because of that.
The Jew in me loves giving things to churches. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
It's about cross cultural collaboration.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's true.